Academician Hasan Abdullayev, also spelled as Gasan Mamed Bagir Ogly Abdullaev. Azerbaijani Həsən Məmmədbağır Bagir oğlu Abdullaev. Russian August 20, 1918 – September 1, 1993, was a leading top Soviet and Azerbaijani physicist, scientist and public official. President of the National Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. He was a Doctor of Sciences in Physics and Mathematics, Professor of Physics and Mathematics, Director of the Institute of Mathematics and Physics of the National Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR, full Academician of the National Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR, corresponding member of the Soviet Academy of Sciences and Russian Academy of Sciences, and in 1970 to 1983 was the longest-serving president of the National Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. He was also an elected member of the Azerbaijan SSR Parliament, and the elected member of the 8th, 9th and 10th convocations of the Supreme Soviet of the Soviet Union. Academician Abdullayev was one of the founders of the Soviet semiconductors physics and a leading scientist in new technologies. He made an outstanding contribution to the development of electronics, astrophysics, aeronautics, medicine, biophysics and defense industries. Academician Abdullayev was the author of 585 Soviet and foreign patents, including 171 secret and 65 top-secret patents. Author of 28 scientific books, monographs, over 800 journal and encyclopedia articles in English, Russian and Azerbaijani languages. Biography. Hasan Abdullayev was born on August 20, 1918, in Yechi, Nakhchivan during the time of the Azerbaijan Democratic Republic. He died on September 1, 1993, in Baku, and was buried at the Alley of Honor. Hasan Abdullayev's name was memorialized by naming the Institute of Physics of the Azerbaijan Academy of Sciences, which he led and expanded into a world-class scientific research institute in 1957 to 1993. After him, as well as naming a street in downtown Baku, installing a plaque on the apartment complex he lived in, and naming a primary school in Nakhchivan. Additionally, several scholarships named after him have been awarded to undergraduate, graduate and postgraduate science students in Azerbaijan from 2003. Every 5 years conferences dedicated to his scientific heritage have been held in Baku, such as in 2013, 2007, and 2003. 1948 to 1950 Deputy Director of the Research Institute of Physics and Mathematics of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1950 Acting Director of the Research Institute of Physics and Mathematics of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1955 Corresponding Member of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1957 Director of the Research Institute of Physics and Mathematics of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1957 to 1993 Founder and Permanent Director of the Institute of Physics of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences, a leading physics research institute in the USSR. Winner of 12 Soviet awards. 1967 Full Academician of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1968 to 1993 Member of Joint Physics Astronomy Department of the USSR Academy of Sciences. Member of the Scientific Council, Physics and Chemistry of Semiconductors, of Presidium of USSR Academy of Sciences. Member of Supreme Attestation Commission of USSR. 1968 to 1970 Academic Secretary of the Physics and Mathematics Department of Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1970 corresponding member of the USSR and Russian Academy of Sciences. 1970 to 1983 President of Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences. 1970 to 1984 member of the USSR and Azerbaijan SSR Supreme Parliaments. Spoke native Azerbaijani. Was fluent in Russian and German, as well as English. Married, with 3 children, and 6 grandchildren. Work. Academician Abdullayev dedicated over 50 years of his life to the physics of semiconductors. Discovered new groups of binary and ternary compounds of selenium and tellurium. Suggested diodes with controlled electronic memory. Created complex semiconductors used as receivers for visible and infrared spectrum areas. By researching the physics of selenium and selenium appliances. Was the first to explain the abnormalities in selenium and invented an approach to control them. Carried out a set of research projects to receive semiconductor monocrystals of complex chemical composition for lasers and memory modules. Elaborated new semiconductor materials for heat converters. In 1954, Hasan Abdullayev founded the Department of Semiconductor Physics at the Baku State University. BSU. Abdullaev founded the Nakhchivan and Jiangsu branches of the Azerbaijan SSR Academy of Sciences, and established more than 50 scientific production and construction bureaus, which were tasked with the application of scientific theories and discoveries, and the more rapid introduction into production and life in the Republic. According to a 2010 article published in the Russian scientific journal Physics and Technique of Semiconductors of the Jov Institute, dedicated to the 60th anniversary of semiconductor electronics research in the USSR. One of the important roles in Soviet semiconductor electronics research, development and innovation was done by Academician Abdullayev. Academician Abdullayev's lifelong research and work concentrated on chemical elements selenium and tellurium, their applications in semiconductors, biophysics and nuclear sciences. Georges Alpharoff, the Nobel Prize-winning physicist, praised the work and legacy of his late colleague and friend, Academician Abdullayev, recognizing how hard it was for Azerbaijani scientists to rise even within the USSR, much less in the world, and only a few people as Abdullayev managed to do it, creating new industries and directions in physics and other sciences. At the initiative and under the direct leadership of Academician Hasan Abdullayev, the following research and scientific institutions and initiatives were established. 1947 city-wide, later Republican, seminars on physics in Baku. 1954 Department of Semiconductor Physics established at the Baku State University. 1957 to 1959 Institute of Physics and Institute of Mathematics and Mechanics. 1959 Shoemaker Astrophysical Observatory, based on the astrophysics sector. 1965 Institute of Cybernetics established. 1967 Bata Astrophysical Sector, now Observatory, in Nakhchivan region. 1969 Radiation Research Sector, later the Institute of Radiation Problems, on the basis of which the National Center for Nuclear Research has been created in 2014. 1970 Scientific Production Associations, ALDAS, Nord, Ozon, Iskra, Tellur, Bilur. 1968. 1972 Nakhchivan Research Center, which is now the Nakhchivan Department of ANUS, National Academy of the Republic of Azerbaijan. 1972 Sector of Microbiology, now Institute. Experimental production works at the Institute of Petrochemical Processes. 1973 The branch of the Institute of Applied Physics, which is now the Institute of Photoelectronics. 1973 Sheki Zonal Scientific Base, which became the Sheki Regional Research Center. 1974 Department of Astrophysics at the Baku State University. 1974 Caspian Research Center at the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Since 1992 Azerbaijan Space Agency. 1975 Two Laboratories of High-Energy Physics at the Institute of Physics. Collaborative research with the Institute of Nuclear Research, Dubna, and the Institute of High-Energy Physics, Serpukhov. 1976 The Sector of Physics of the Earth at the Institute of Geology. 1976 Research and Development Institute of Viticulture and Winemaking in Meshiabad region of Azerbaijan. 1978 Institute of Space Research of Earth Natural Resources. First of a kind in the world. 1978 Institute of Organochlorine Synthesis and Songate. 1978 Special Construction Bureau. SCB. Cybernetics. SCB with Pilot Plant, Crystal. Darndag SCB Technology Bureau with Pilot Plant. 1979 Seismic Station in Guba, under AEGID of Geophysics, Scientific Center of Anna. 1979 AGSU Research and Development Base in Kanla region. 1980 1981 Regional Scientific Center in Ganja, then called Kiruvabad. 1981 Pilot Plant, Selenium. Register, with pilot production. Special Construction Technological Bureau, SKTB. Reagent. 1982 Special Construction Bureau, SKB. Crystal, in Baku. 1985 and other scientific institutions and technology productions. Awards. Academician Hasan Abdullayev was honored with the top Soviet award, the Order of Lenin in 1978, the Order of the Red Banner of Labor, the Vavilov Gold Medal of the Federation of Cosmonautics, Tsiolkovsky Gold Medal of the Federation of Cosmonautics, was laureate of Azerbaijan SSR State Award in 1972, was an honored scientist of Azerbaijan SSR, and with other medals and prestigious Soviet and international scientific awards, scientific efforts and peer recognition. Academician Hasan Abdullayev is the author of 28 monographs, several scientific textbooks, approximately 600 scientific journal articles. He holds 585 patents from USSR, including 171 secret and 65 top-secret patents for technologies with military applications, and 35 foreign patents from France, Germany, Great Britain, Japan, Sweden, Italy, Bulgaria, India, and U.S. United States Patent 3,472,652. Academician Abdullayev received highest praise from his colleagues, including Nobel Prize winner Academician Georges Alferov, Nobel Prize winner Academician Alexander Prokhorov, Kurchatov Institute President and Director Evgeny Velikov, Academician Bentjan Vul, Academician Vladimir Tuchkevich, Academician Sergei Karpitsa, Academician Roald Sagdayev, Nobel Prize winner Professor Rudolf Ludwig Mossbauer, Academician Nikolai Bogolubov, Soviet Academy of Sciences Presidents Academician Alexander Nesmayanov, Academician Anatoly Petrovich Alexandrov, Academician Mstislav Keldysh and other Soviet and foreign scientists. According to a 2008 article, Academician Abdullayev was called the father of physics in Azerbaijan and one of the founders of the School of Semiconductor Research in the Soviet Union by such authoritative scientists as Academicians Z.H. Alferov, U. Gurliev, L. Kabatov, V. Izakov, Professor D. Nazaldov, and others. In fact, the Great Soviet Encyclopedia, the most authoritative Soviet encyclopedia, the Soviet equivalent of the Encyclopedia Britannica in the West, listed the names of scientists making the greatest contributions to the development of semiconductor electronics and microelectronics in this order. A. F. Ioffe, who was Abdullayev's mentor during his postdoctoral studies in Leningrad. N. P. Sargin. R. I. Frankel. B. M. Vul. V. M. Tuchkevich. H. B. Abdullaev. Z. H. I. Alfarov. L. V. Keldysh, and others. 3rd edition. 1970. Page 351. Thus, already in 1970, this encyclopedia put Academician Abdullayev as the 6th most influential scientist in semiconductor research, higher than such giants as academicians Alfarov and Keldysh. Quote, Academician Abdullayev was recognized as the top expert on the chemical element selenium, and thus entrusted authoring the article on selenium in the 3rd, final edition of the top scientific reference publication, the Great Soviet Encyclopedia. Publications: Atomic Diffusion in Semiconductor Structures. G. Abdullaev. Gasan Mamed Bagir Oghly Abdullaev. Harvard Academic Publishes. January 1, 1987. Science. 340 pages. London, Paris, New York, Melbourne. 1980. Electronic Semiconductors and Their Application. Abdullaev G. B. ACAD. Of SC. Azeb. SSR. Baku. 1952. Electron Yaron Kasirasila. Baki. 1952. The Free Electrons and the Physical Basis of Their Application. Abdullaev G. B. Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1954. Serbest Elektron v Ionantebikin and Fiziki Esislari. Azeb. SSR Elmler Akademi Yazi. Nezriyati Baki. 1954. 1954. Semiconductor Rectifiers. Abdullaev G. B. Press of the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1958. Yarim Kasirasila Duzlendirasila. Yariletk and Dograltukula. Baki. Azeb. SSR Elmler Akademi Yazi Nezriyati. 1958. 204c. Physical processes occurring in selenium and selenium devices. Abdullaev G. B. Press of the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1959. 1959. Questions of Metallurgy and Physics of Semiconductors. A. 1959. Semiconductors. Abdullaev G. B. Baki. Azeb. SSR Elmler Akademi Yazi Nezriyati. 1961. 91s. Surface and contact phenomena in semiconductors. Abdullaev G. B. Tomsk University Press. Tomsk. 1964. 1964. Radioisotopes and their application in semiconductor physics. Abdullaev G. B. Press of the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1964. 1964. Investigation of the effect of tellurium sublayer on the properties of selenium valves. 1964. Selenium, tellurium and their application. Abdullaev G. B. Press of the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1965. 1965. Semiconductor components in instrumentation engineering. 1966. Compound semiconductors. Abdullaev G. B. Press of the Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1966. Slozhny Provodniki. Spectroscopy of solids. Abdullaev G. B. Norka. Leningrad. 1969. 1969. Some questions in the physics of p-n junctions. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1971. 1971. Radiation physics of non-metallic crystals. Abdullaev G. B. Naukova Dumka. Kiev. 1971. A. 1971. Selenium and Fission. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1972. 1972. Selenium limiters. Abdullaev G. B. Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1973. Baku. 1973. 1973. Effect of selenium on immunological features of plasma-irradiated animals. Radiobiology. Abdullaev G. B. Academy of Sciences of the Azerbaijan SSR. Baku. 1973. 1973. Physical properties of selenium and selenium devices. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1974. 1974. Semiconductor converters. Abdullaev G. B. Yaremkechirichi Severisleri. 1974. Selenium in biology. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1974. 1974. Selenium fritter. Abdullaev G. B. Inst. of Phys. Azerbaijan of Science. Baku. 1974. 1974. Physics of selenium. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1975. -1975. Semiconductor rectifiers. Abdullaev G. B. Yaremkechirichi Duzlendirasila. 1978. Elm. Physics of selenium converters. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1981. 1981. Nazami Jenkovin and Elm Dunyazi. H. B. Abdullaev E.B. Azerbaijan Davlat Nezriyati. 1991. Interaction of laser radiation with semiconductors A.B. Abdullaev G. B. Elm. Baku. 1979. 1979. Physical status solidity 26. 65 Abdullaev G. B. and others. 1968. The photovoltaic and radiation effects in silicon solar cells. Abdullaev G. B. 1993. Baku. 1993. Study the impact of accelerated electrons to silicon oxide. Abdullaev G. B. 1994. Silicon oxide. A. 2. Collection of photos of Academician Hasan Abdullayev.